Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got a super exciting video. We're going to be counting down the top 10 players who did not qualify for the Fortnite World Cup. Now, there's definitely a lot of players out there who shocked us, but these 10, in my personal opinion, are definitely the most shocking. Now, I'm sure we will have different opinions, so if you disagree with me, feel free to just leave a comment down below and let me know what you think your top 10 list is. Now, one last thing before we get into the video, guys. I've never really used Instagram, and honestly, I've never even face revealed on this channel besides my very first video, but I want to start using Instagram, so you guys can go ahead and search me or click the link down below, TFGMYKL. That's my personal Instagram. I'm going to start using it a little bit more, so go drop a follow over there. But now, guys, let's jump into the video, and we're going to start off with number 10. We do have a player from FaZe Clan, one of the best controller players in the world, which I was definitely shocked when he didn't qualify. We have Jarvis, FaZe K's brother. Jarvis, you're insane, dude. But yeah, Jarvis, he placed really well in the Fortnite World Cup. In the very first week, which was solos, he placed 16th. Then also in week 7, he placed 5th. And overall, he never really placed outside of the top 100, besides 2 times. He has a 22nd, a 29th. He was super close multiple times. He did switch up his duo once, and I think that kind of hurt him in the duos area, but he was very consistent in solos, and I expected him to qualify, and one week he even almost did. But unfortunately for him, he had a 5-minute long queue at the end of the qualifiers and missed out on his last game, and he was in first place at that time, but because he didn't get into that game, he fell all the way down to 5th place and did not qualify. Alright guys, moving on now to number 9, we actually have a duo coming out from the Oceania region that goes by the names of Scylla and Ja Lands, and they are the most unlucky duo I've seen so far. In duos alone, they got 2nd place twice, and then even 3rd place. Just take a look at this, guys. It's absolutely unreal. This is Skyla's resume for the Fortnite World Cup qualifiers. In week 1 solos, he got 15th. Week 5 solos, he got 3rd. Week 9 solos, he got 3rd again. And then moving on to the duos results. In week 2 of duos, he got 8th. Week 4 of duos, he got 2nd. Week 6 of duos, he got 2nd again. And then in week 10 of duos, he got 2nd again. 3 times in a row almost, this guy got 2nd place with his duo, and then 3rd place twice in the solos. He was so close so many times. Like, these guys were probably together combined the closest to qualifying from any region. It's absolutely insane. And honestly, from anybody out of this list, they're probably the most consistent too. The only reason they're at 9th is because they come out of the Oceania region, which, no offense to Oceania, it's just a lot easier to qualify from there. And also, this list just isn't about people who did really good and almost made it. It's also about players who we expected to qualify and maybe didn't even do good, which we're about to get into right now, guys, because moving on to rank number 8, we have 72 Hours from Team Liquid, who didn't do completely awful, but honestly, we expected him to do much better, especially in the solos. In duos, he did pretty good with Vivid. They got 10th place in week 10, they got 45th in week 6, they got 43rd in week 4, and in week 2, they got 24th. But in solos, 72 Hours completely dropped the ball. To me, this is honestly one of the most shocking things in this entire list. 72 Hours literally only made it out of the top 100 in solos one time in week 5. Yeah, seriously, guys, that's crazy, right? Nobody would even expect that. I didn't even believe it when I looked it up. I expected him to be in the top 50 at least a few times, but he cracked top 100 only once. And I know he did good with Vivid in the duos, but I expected them to qualify. 2 of the best players in the entire world. Their best placement was only top 10, so that's why we have 72 Hours at rank number 8. Moving on now to rank number 7, we have another player who is actually underrated and not known that much, but I and a whole bunch of other pro players going into the World Cup expected him to qualify 100%, and that's going to be Animal from Sentinels. Now, going into the Fortnite World Cup, Animal and his duo Aspect were the #1 ranked team. Like, if you would have asked any pro who's going to qualify right away, they would have said these two. They never qualified in duos. Aspect did make it in solos, but Animal didn't qualify at all. And just taking a look to show you guys how hyped up they were, they got first place in the Lux Cup North American East, they got first and second place in the Blackheart Cup, and they also got first place in the World Cup warm-up. So they won every tournament leading into the Fortnite World Cup. And looking at Animal's results overall, he got 25th, 23rd, 16th, 130th, 41st, 18th, and 6th. So close every single week. week, but just didn't quite make it. And it's really unfortunate for Animal, and that's why he's ranked number 7, but there were a ton of players who were super close to qualifying, and so was rank number 6, which is Symmetrical, coming out of North American West. Now, Symmetrical is a good friend of mine, and I've had an eye on him for Kagarna for quite some time, because he's been so consistent in the Fortnite World Cup. Let's just take a look at his performances. He got 6th in week 2, 10th in week 3, 69th in week 4, 4th in week 5, super close that week, 32nd in week 6, and then again in solos, 3rd place. So back to back, he got 4th, then 3rd in week 7, 1 spot off of qualifying, then 28th in week 9, and 55th in week 10. Literally throughout the entire thing, he was so damn close, but just couldn't quite make it like Animal and some other players on this list. So for me personally, that's why I think Symmetrical is one of the most shocking players who didn't qualify. The progress he made throughout the World Cup qualifiers was incredible. He improved every single week, but just didn't make it, which is so dang unfortunate, and it happened to a lot of these players on this list, including the next guy. Actually, to be honest, the next 2 players on this list, they had such a hard time qualifying. They were literally 1 spot off multiple times. Absolutely unreal. Moving on to rank number 5, we have Fuzzy from Team Secret. So jumping into Fuzzy's placements, man, they're crazy. In the first week of solos, he got 8th. Now, you need a top 6 in North American East to qualify, so he was 2 spots off. Moving on to week 2 duos, he didn't do that great. They got 127th with his duo Hogman, but then jumping to week 4 duos, Hogman and Fuzzy, they performed really good. They got 5th place, which was 1 spot off of qualifying. So close. Then week 6 duos, they got 96th, and then week 8 duos, they got 6th place, which again this week, it was 1 place off, because obviously duos that qualified already placed above them, meaning that they were 1 spot off again. So close. Then in solos 126th, and then duos in the very last week 102. So overall, he was 1 spot off twice, and then 2 spots off once. Man, that's gotta be devastating. His mentality must have been slipping throughout the entire qualifiers. And moving on to rank number 4, we have another player who had it just as bad, Snood from Ghost Gaming. Now, Snood's mentality was definitely crippling. He tweeted this out: 3 weeks, 1 placement off of qualifying, and my mentality is crippling. Guys, he literally didn't qualify from 1 slot off 3 times throughout the World Cup qualifiers. That is insane. And do you guys even want to know what's crazier about Ghost Snood and these World Cup qualifiers? He was the most consistent player coming out of North American East. There's a website called battlebus.info, which ranks out everybody based on their placements, and Snood had overall the best placements. And that's right, guys, this is all of North American East, including FaZe Dubs, Misfit Clicks, all of those guys. Snood had the most consistent placements and still didn't qualify. Man, that must suck for Snood. But let's go ahead and move on now to rank number 3, and we do have a surprising pick here. It's gonna be Ninja. Alright, I know some people are gonna say Ninja's not that shocking. We didn't expect him to qualify, and I agree. Going into the Fortnite World Cup, Ninja was not on my radar. I thought, he'll make the finals a few times, but he'll never really crack like the top 20 or top 50. But then, Ninja with Reverse 2K in the Duos events, they did really good in week 4 and in week 6. In week 4, they got overall 14th, and then in week 6, they got overall ranked 7th. So after week 6, I thought in week 8 and week 10 that Ninja and Reverse 2K had a really good chance at qualifying, especially because Reverse 2K had just qualified in solos, but it just didn't happen. Moving on to week 8, they got 194th, and then in week 10, they got 42nd. So overall, that's why Ninja not qualifying is really shocking to me. Now moving on to rank number 2, this one was so shocking for me. Like, I really expected this player to qualify, and that's Camo from Ghost Gaming. Camo before the Fortnite World Cup, in my opinion, was like the best controller play in the world. Yes, Issa's really good and probably like top 2 or top 3, but for some reason I just always thought Camo was better. I have no clue why, because Issa's amazing as well, but for me, Camo was always the player I thought of when I thought best controller player in Fortnite. Going through his placements, he did do pretty good. Week 2, he got 26 with Issa. Week 3 in solos, he got 106. Week 4 of duos, he got 23rd. Then week 5 solos, he got 69th. Week 6 duos, he got 94th, and then in Week 7 solos, he got 13th, which overall was his best placement throughout the entire thing, almost qualifying, but not quite getting there. Alright, and now moving on to the rank number 1 player, the most shocking player to not qualify for the Fortnite World Cup, in my opinion, it's gotta be Cloakzy, and this is for 2 reasons. One being, of course, it's Cloakzy. He's so damn good. He has made so much money, and he has qualified and performed really well in so many tournaments in the past, one specifically being TwitchCon, where he completely carried Tfue. There's no denying that. And then the second reason being, he is Tfue's duo. Tfue is one of the best players in the world, probably top 2, top 3. He qualified for solos multiple times, and just in general, these guys were so close to qualifying every single week, but they just could not get the job done. In week 1, Cloakzy, this was his best solos performance. He got 32, but outside of that, he never cracked the top 100 again, just like 72 hours. Then in week 2 duos, they got 84th. Week 4 duos, they got 6th. Week 6 duos, they got 13th, and then week 10 duos, they got 134th. They were close multiple times. Cloakzy, I don't know what happened. I guess he's just a LAN god and not really an online god. Unfortunate. The most shocking player for me, hands down. I don't know about you guys. You'll probably disagree with some things about this list, but that's okay. If you guys disagree, just leave a comment down below. Let me know your opinion. But that's going to be the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, do me a favor, drop a like, subscribe, and also go follow my Instagram, guys. Link will be down below in the description and in the comments. Thank you so much, guys. I love all of you. That's going to be it for me. Peace.